Hello, ghouls and ghoulies. Welcome to Scary and Bizarre Short Stories. I'm your host, Larry Lee Roten. This is a horrid tale of a deal I made with something dark and evil. At the time, I had no choice. It's called The Deal. It was a deal I should never have made, but it's too late now. What's done is done. I'm sorry for the ones I've hurt. I've made my mistake. If I could go back to that horrible night, I would do things differently. I should have chosen death and let the monster take me. I've never believed in monsters, at least real, terrifying monsters. Although I write chilling tales of wicked creatures lurking in the dark shadows, they were always figments of my imagination. Never in my life did I ever think these horrible beings were real. Not until this one dark night. This is my story. It happened a year ago on a dark and stormy night. The rain had stopped, and I decided to walk home from town, as I had many times before. The walk, which was a mile to my home, through a well developed neighborhood, was invigorating. The houses, built in the late 1880s, were elegant, with manicured yards bordered by lush flower beds and ornamental shrubs. Large maple trees lined the sidewalks, standing like soldiers in a row. Their canopy of thick leaves blocked out the full moon's beams and most of the light from the street lights. As shadowy as it was, I could still navigate the walk with ease. The street lights, spaced every few hundred feet apart, put forth a soft glow that chased at the darkness, but in many places the darkness overtook the light, giving way to ghostly shapes that lingered in the shadows. It was truly an amazing sight. A slight mist floated under the trees, moving silently toward an unknown destination. The fog added a touch of mystery to the atmosphere, moving slowly as if collecting neighborhood secrets. As I strolled, looking at the houses, the lights inside flowed through the windows, spilling into the shrubs. The soft glow cascaded over the landscape, and as if by magic, the light continued its journey into the soft grass in the yards, creating hundreds of tiny sparkles on the rain soaked ground. It was a quiet night. The air was warm, and a gentle breeze teased the tops of the maples, sending tiny drops of rain toward the sidewalk below. It was a perfect night for walking. However, something sinister stirred that night. As I stepped out of the streetlight's glow into a darker part of the walk, I heard a rustling ahead of me. A dark figure stepped into the walk, wearing a cloak with a hood. As I stared at it, it stood in the middle of the walk, staring back at me. At first, I thought it might be a neighbor walking their dog, as the darkness concealed most of its features. But that wasn't the case. As I neared the figure, it stood directly before me, not offering to share the walk. There, standing on the sidewalk, was a creature I couldn't fully recognize. It resembled something from my ghostly short stories. Its eyes glowed with an unnatural light. I had written about monsters like this in my stories, but this was no figment of my imagination. This was a living, breathing monster. As I closed the distance between us, I noticed two red eyes staring at me. As I approached, the streetlight behind the creature cast its head and arms in a soft silhouette. Although its head was covered, I saw a monstrous face beneath the hood. Its hands had elongated fingers with long, sharp nails. The beast spoke, a chilling reminder of the many stories I had written of such raspy whispers. It echoed in my mind. "If you run, I'll kill you," it said. I froze. "You are a writer?" Yes. I stared at the monster. It was a horrible creature, and I was frightened beyond words. Yes, I right. I know who you are, he said with a low growl. I'm glad you didn't try to lie. I nodded. What do you want? I need you to do something for me. I can't help you, I said. Okay, I'll just kill you now. He growled. Are you sure you don't want to hear my deal? There was a slight humor echoing in his voice, somewhat more calming. I nodded as I pleaded. I'll listen, but please don't hurt me. He smiled, showing his sharp fangs. I'm the monster that slips in and out of the shadows, the thing most humans fear. On nights like this, I hunt. I'll kill as many of your kind as possible, taking them to my world where my clan will devour them. You humans are weak, and you reek of fear. I can smell you from here. I didn't understand the conversation, so I asked, what do you want from me? I want you to write a story about me. He handed me a satchel. In this, you will find a paper to write your story. A dark witch gave this to me. The paper is laced with magic. I spared her life for the paper. I was horrified, but I nodded. If I agreed with this monster, maybe I could escape his wrath and be safe. There was no way I'd write a story about him. The monster growled loudly. So you think you can cheat me? No, I said. No, I won't. I couldn't believe it had read my mind. His growl lowered and finally subsided. If you don't do as I ask, I'll come for you. I know where you live. I've been watching you, following you. What do you want me to write? I asked. I want you to write about a monster that talked with you and made a deal with you. At the end, you will write that whoever reads this story will become my next victim. He laughed. By then, it will be too late. As I said, I must take as many as possible when the moon is full. I don't understand, I said. I don't have any magic. He growled loudly. You don't need to understand. The witch cursed the paper. Once you write the story, the witch's magic will curse the words, and all who read them will become my victims. I'll know where they are. The witch's magic will lead me to them. I'll slip into their room at night and take them to a dark, evil place. There, my kind will devour them. That is how it works. I nodded. I, I can't. I'll spare your life if you write the story. That's the deal. Take it or leave it. I had no choice, so I took the paper. I didn't want to die by this monster's hand. I was terrified, but fear clouded my judgment, and I accepted its terms without fully understanding the cost. Now I realize I've committed the most heinous crime against those I care about. Most of my friends and family have read the story on YouTube. Once the words were written on the witch's paper, no matter where they appear, the words doom the reader. I've tried, but I can't remove the story from the internet. Since then, most of my friends and family have disappeared, gone without a trace. I know it's because of this story, but at the time, I wanted to live, so I made the deal. Since you've read this story, I must warn you the monster knows, and he'll come after you. It's a matter of time. I don't think you can escape his wrath. It will come in the middle of the night while you sleep and take you. I don't know where to, but it told me to a dark and evil place where you can't escape. Sometimes the lines between fiction and reality blur, and the monsters we create on paper become all too real. If given the chance, I would choose differently. I would face the beast without fear, knowing that some deals are not worth the price. You see, this monster tricked me too. After writing the story, I read it. Soon it will come after me as well. My days are numbered, as are yours. On the nights when the moon is full, I try to stay awake, not daring to sleep. I turn on all of the lights, trying to keep the beast at bay. So far, it seems to work. I think the monster shuns the light. Or maybe it's too busy taking my friends like you. I hope you enjoyed this story. I'll tell you, it's the worst deal I've ever made. However, it keeps me busy making new friends. They seem to disappear quickly. I'm just saying. Thank you for visiting Scary and Bizarre Short Stories. If you would, please subscribe and give this story a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. As always, thank you for visiting my channel.